Greetings friends, this is Steven with Make It Rad. I'm out here on a ride today with the KTM 890 Adventure R Rally, and I thought, what a great place to stop and do a likes video. Riding this thing along, I was thinking, what are the top 5 likes that I could do a video on? There's so many. Maybe I'll include a bonus one at the end. Maybe I'll give you 6 of them. Out here, exploring forest and roads like this, the first thing that comes to mind with my favorite thing about this bike is the suspension. This has the WP Explorer Pro cone valve suspension. It has dual compression, high speed, low speed, and rebound adjustment. You can also adjust the preload on the rear shock. So if you have, luggage on the back, you can adjust the preload for that. I have a luggage set, but I removed it off of there. I kind of just like to ride minimal when I'm not doing long distance rides. Like if I'm doing something long distance, I'll throw the bags on, but I really like to keep it more lightweight, nimble as I can. This suspension is confidence inspiring. It's better than I am as a rider, and it makes you go probably quicker than you should if you're not, really experienced. I've been riding dirt bikes since a kid. I come from the sport bike world on street bikes, but I've ridden, everything from Harleys to adventure bikes. This being my first adventure bike, but man, the suspension on this, I stood on the Standard R, I rode that around. I did a test ride on a Standard R, and this thing just takes it up like 5 notches from the Standard R. It's really why you would get the Rally. Now, if you can only get the Standard R, that's an amazing bike as well. I wouldn't shy away from the, the 890s in general. The R model is great. 2023, I think they actually brought some of the technology in here on the cone valves to the newer ones. You'd have to double check that. But yeah, suspension, top notch. The R model is 270 travel, at least on the front fork. I think the Standard R is 200. So you get a bit more travel. The side effect is it does sit up higher, but when you're on the bike and you're standing on the pegs and you're out on the roads, it doesn't matter, that little bit. It's only when you go to like put a foot down and you think you're gonna touch the ground and you don't, but totally worth it in that regard. The next thing, number 2 item, there's my top like on this bike, is the power. I rode the Standard R, great bike. This has actually the same power as the Standard R. And I was thinking, well, how come they didn't give you just a little bit more, for the Rally? But to be honest, it doesn't need it. Used to something revving out a lot more, but this really just the low end torque for these trails, it's just perfect. It's plenty for the street. This thing can do 100 miles an hour on knobbies. So faster than I really want to go. And for out here, the low end torque and the grunt of this thing is it's just perfect. I was looking at single cylinder thumper bikes like the 690 or the 450s and that type of thing, but there's so much maintenance, and I really only saw myself using it for short trips. I like the fact that I can take this across the country if I wanted to. It works great out here, and it's more than capable. So power is definitely there. I think on paper it's like 105 horsepower, and I forget the torque number. It's like up there in the 70s, but paper's one thing, riding it's another, and it's just been amazing. So number 3, the looks. I rode the Standard R. I like the Standard R, but I don't know, the graphics package on this is loud, but man, I love it. I just love how the blue and the orange and the white look together. I love how it says Rally on the tank right there. It just makes it, a special bike, special edition. I mentioned in my intro video there were 700 of these made worldwide, 200 in the US. So it's kind of a unicorn. I'm just so stoked to have it, and it has not disappointed. And I touched on this earlier. I guess number 4 would be the multi-use of this. So I can take this on the street. It rides amazing for the street. I'm not really giving up anything. The windscreen has 2 settings, has an upper and a lower. I keep it in the upper, but you can lower it if you're doing more off-roading and, for some reason that gets in the way, or you can even remove it with just one screw. They do have, I think Rottweiler makes a little hand screw right there that you can just take it right off. But I haven't had to mess with it, and, there's a little bit of buffeting. It is, an off-road adventure bike, but, on-road, it really does ride great. So the on-road capability, the off-road capability is totally worth mentioning as number 4 there. I don't think you could really do better, honestly. Number 5, the electronics package. So this comes with rally mode, quick shifter, on-road ABS, off-road ABS, has, you know, the standard like wet weather settings, rally settings, off-road. The quick shifter's cool. I come from an older bike where you always had to use the clutch, so sometimes it'll sneak up on you. You can just shift without using the clutch when you're on power. It's pretty amazing. And there's times when you need it, like if you're off-road and you need to grab a gear real quick, sometimes you don't have time to grab the clutch, and just being able to just smack that gear down, that's huge. And the electronics package makes that possible with that quick shifter. And rally mode, this thing is just super responsive. Like, you put it in rally mode and it basically turns all the nannies off, and it's like you're in charge of what happens. So that being number 5. So summary, number 1, suspension. I don't know that you could beat it in a production bike right now. 2 is power. It's more than adequate. It gets you around. It's way more power than I think you need. 3 is subjective, it's the looks, but for me, it is one of the reasons I liked the Rally. 4, the multi-use, off-road, on-road capability, just all around great bike. And 4, the electronics, or 5, the electronics. I guess number 6, a bonus, and if you're looking at an adventure bike, don't look at anything that doesn't have a 21-inch wheel. So if you're looking at an adventure bike and it's not a 21-inch wheel, you might want to look elsewhere. There's a lot of bikes out there. I won't name any. I think a lot of the newer models of adventure bikes come with a 21-inch wheel, but there were some out there, and that makes a huge difference when you're on roads like this. I mean, dirt bikes have the big wheels in front for a reason, and they just really absorb the bumps a lot better and give you a lot more, to me, a lot more planted feeling. So that's a big one. Not everyone will agree with me on that one, but that's your bonus number 6, in my opinion. Is look for something with a 21-inch wheel. So that's a wrap for now. If you have any questions on anything particular about this, please let me know. Like and subscribe if you like to see more of this content. And thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Take care.